Welcome to your first Pilates session with me. So this is ground level, base level, ground zero. This is where you start if you've never tried Pilates before. This is your first session. So I'm going to cover some of I'm going to cover the basic principles of Pilates and some of the things that you'll be experiencing in class or that you'll hear me say. And the point of this session is so that you can have the most out of your Pilates session and your sessions with me. The Pilates promise is that after 10 sessions, your body will feel better. After 20 sessions, your body will actually start to look better. And after 30 sessions, you will have a different relationship with your body altogether. That's a huge promise, but Pilates does deliver. Okay, so what is Pilates? Pilates is a musculoskeletal workout. So muscular and skeletal workouts, meaning that it works your muscles like most exercises do, but uniquely it works your skeleton as well. There's a lot of flexibility in our skeletons, which a lot of the exercises that we do don't facilitate flexibility in. And when we don't use our flexibility, we start to lose it. Muscularly, we start to lose flexibility by the time we're about 25, 30, and then structurally we have flexibility. That's in our skeleton. And then muscularly as well, we also have flexibility. That's in our muscles and in our ligaments. And so Pilates is one of the few exercise methods that I know that fuses expanding flexibility or increasing flexibility in both dimensions. So it was developed in the early 1920s by Joseph Pilates. He was a German and he was a very sickly child, and so back then, I mean, can you imagine growing up in the 20s? This was just before World War II, and so there was no allowances for disability, so to speak, and so he was very, very involved in wanting to improve his body as much as he could. And so he got involved. By the time he finished the Pilates method, he was a weightlifter, he was a wrestler, he was a circus gymnast, and we developed Pilates. So Pilates is for men, and Pilates is intense. And then, so that's how Pilates started. And what does it focus on? Pilates focuses on realigning the body. So it's going to realign you structurally, like I said earlier. So it's realigning the posture, and then it's going to rebalance your muscles so that the body can work functionally, can work as it was intended to work. You can imagine that if you have a building, and while they're putting up the structures of your building, those metal poles that they use when they're doing the concrete, if it's wobbly, then that means everything in the body is going to be wobbly. And that's the same thing with your posture. Poor posture has been linked to a lot of lifestyle illnesses like high blood pressure, like hormonal imbalances, poor digestive system, and poor digestive processes. And you can, if you think about it, you can imagine it. If your pelvis is tilted and your intestines are not properly balanced, that means that it's not going to get the right signals from your spine. It's also not going to get enough oxygen. The poop is not going to flow out properly, so you can imagine. So these are all the things that Pilates will help you, or your practice of Pilates will help you to reorder. And those are the kind of benefits that you're going to get from Pilates. So apart from increased flexibility, you're going to get increased strength. Pilates focuses on working your muscles from the inside out. So we're going to be engaging deep muscles, and because we're working muscles from the inside out, you're going to get your results much quicker, because the deeper we go, the smaller the muscles are. So if they're small, that means they get stronger quicker, and then the next layer will get stronger quicker until we build all the way out. Most exercise models work your body from the outside in. Pilates is from the inside out. And to help us engage those deep muscles, you're going to hear me say things, you're going to hear me describe things to you. Imagine your body's reaching away from you. Imagine your spine is nice and long, or your leg is trying to reach the wall behind you. What we're trying to do is to get you to activate those deep muscles. And then another thing that Pilates also does is that we do a lot of isolation. So we're going to be isolating body parts as we work through them. Pilates, when it was first, when Joseph Pilates started it, it was actually called contrology. It was about control. And it was after his death that it actually took on the name Pilates. So it's called control. So all the movements are slow and controlled. Remember, we're trying to open out joints. We're also trying to then strengthen the muscles on top. So you're going to get lean, strong muscles and a very flexible skeleton. Then the next, another important thing about Pilates is our breath. We connect our movement to our breath. So we inhale, we always inhale into an exercise, and we sort of exhale into the hard part of the exercise. We exhale through the mouth. And what this does is that it makes sure that you inhale, because your body will automatically inhale. So let's practice a few breaths there. So you're going to breathe in very gradually, breathing in, and then you hold, and then you breathe out. You breathe in gradually, hold, and then you breathe out. Now the thing with Pilates is some of the movements, we tend to have like 2 movements on the inhale, or you can have 2 movements on your exhale. So it's very important that we can prolong the inhale as much as we can, and then we can prolong the exhale as long as we can. And you find that as we continue, as we're putting layers on, these are the things that challenge your core and also improve your breathing. So in Pilates, like I said, we're breathing, but by the time you start to engage the different muscle groups, we end up with what is called thoracic breathing, where we're forcing the air to stay in the thoracic area in your lungs. And also now to do that is where we come into the abdominal engagement. So we practice the breathing, and now we're going to go into thoracic breathing. Now to do this is to engage the core. Engagement of the core is fundamental in Pilates because it's about building your core, and your core muscles attach. So those are your abdominal muscles. They attach to your rib cage and to your pelvis. So I want you to think of a wrestler's championship belt. So you see how it's big in front, and then it wraps all the way around to the back. That's exactly how your abdominals look. So they're attached to your rib cage, to your pelvis, that's that big loop in front, and then it goes all the way to your back, supporting your lower back. So when we engage in Pilates, we're holding the muscles in, we're contracting the muscles. What this does is that it supports your back, and then it gets those muscles working. So you're going to, we also engage on the exhale, and then we'll hold it in, and then all the exercises, you're doing the exercises with your core engaged. It sounds like it might be a lot, but I'll keep cueing you. So let's practice the core engagement. So to practice your core engagement, a good way to think of it is that you're just holding your belly button in. So you take your belly button to your spine, just take it in, and then release. Take it in, and then release. Hold it, and release. Hold it, and release. So I want you to pay attention to when you hold it. Hold it, you see that you sort of lift, your upper body lifts up, your chest lifts up, your spine comes up, and then when you release, everything seems to come down. Hold, release, belly comes back out. Hold, release. So now we're going to hold it for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Take it back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. That's good. So now what we do in Pilates is we're going to combine that breath, the breathing in, and the core engagement. So you want to engage your core on the exhale. because your belly already goes in on the exhale naturally. So we're working with the body's rhythm here. So you're going to breathe in, like I said, gradually, breathing into a count of 5. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it there. Now as you breathe out, start to take in your belly button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now hold it. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the tightest, 0 being no engagement, I want you to keep that core engagement to a 5. Okay, so hold it at 5 and breathe in again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold and breathe out. 1, 2, 3. You're still holding. So now keep holding. The visual that I want you to now have is that you're zipping up a tight pair of jeans. It's like 2 sizes smaller. And you know, if you have zipped up a tight pair of jeans, it's a gradual process. As you're zipping up. So that's exactly what I want you to do, particularly as we're loading the core with exercises. You're going to go. So now let's practice that. So breathe in gradually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Now start to exhale gently. So scale of 1 to 10, you're still at a 5. Breathe in again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice the air coming into your rib cage. And breathe out. Take your belly button in some more. So you're zipping up your jeans. Come up a notch. Hold it at a 7. Hold it there. Breathe in. Into that rib cage. Notice that because your abdominals are held in, the air is coming up here. And breathe out. Take that in. Take it to the maximum. Hold it there. And hold it again. Breathe. Into the back of your rib cage now. Hold it. And breathe out. Still holding. Go deeper. Go deeper. Take that belly button in. Let's do one more breath. Breathe in. Feel the back of your rib cage. The air is being forced there. And breathe out. Go deep. Now hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. That was a core workout right there. Just that holding your abdominals in and keeping your rib cage and breathing into your rib cage. That was a core workout there. So that's the first. So those are the first 2 principles. Now the second one, or the third one now, is your pelvis, is keeping your pelvis stable. So now your pelvis is like a bowl, yeah? And your legs are under it, and then your spine is in between it. So you have your abdominals holding it in front and wrapping all the way to the spine, connecting it in front, and then you now have your pelvic floor muscles that are like the base of your bowl. So it's a baseless bowl, so to speak. So you have your pelvic floor muscles that are holding, that are like the base of this bowl of yours. So we want to engage your pelvic floor muscles. When we engage the pelvic floor muscles, what it does is that it helps to stabilize the pelvis so that it doesn't move all over the place. And as we're loading exercises, it's very important that we keep that place steady, and that way it also gives stability to the spine. So to engage your pelvic floor and to stabilize that pelvis, what I want you to do is to imagine that you need to pee and there's no toilet in sight. So you are taking that muscle that helps you to stop your pee. That's the muscle that we want to engage. So you want to take it in gradually and then release. Take it in gradually and then release. Take it in gradually and then release. We're going to hold it now. Take it in and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Let's try again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. For men, if this is a challenge, imagine that you're walking into a cold pool. The water is freezing. Yep, that response. That's it. Take it in and release. Now let's combine the core engagement with the breath and the pelvic floor and pelvic floor engagement. So we're engaging on the exhale. So let's start with the abdominals first. So you breathe in gradually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold it. Now as you exhale, start to zip up your tight pair of jeans, belly button to spine. Hold it. Just focus on the breath in the rib cage. Breathe in and breathe out. Belly button in, so you're at a 6 now. Breathe in. Now as you breathe out, start to take in your pelvic floor muscles. Feels a little weird, I know, but hold it. Breathe in and breathe out. One more, breathe in and breathe out. Okay, very, very well done. So we're going to add another elements to this, and that is your rib cage and keeping your shoulders stable, keeping the rib cage stable and keeping the shoulders stable. Now you notice that when you're breathing in and engaging your core, your rib cage comes up. Now if we keep that position and we exercise there, what is going to happen is you're going to end up putting tension in the middle of your back, that mid spine there, and we don't want that. We're wanting to exercise or to move, realign the body in alignment. So what we want to do is we're going to take a breath in and exhale. Core goes in, so belly button goes in, pelvic floor is engaged, so that rib cage is lifted. What we're going to do, we're going to breathe in, and as we breathe out, we're going to bring that rib cage down. Okay, so it comes down, and the visual that I want you to have is that your last rib cage is sitting directly over your pelvis. So you want that alignment between the rib cage and your pelvis, your pubic bones, those two bones in front. You want to visualize that they're aligned. If your chest is lifted, then it's going to be like this. It's not going to be aligned, but you want to keep it aligned. I hope you understand what I mean. So take a deep breath in and exhale. Belly button goes in, pelvic floor goes in. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring that rib cage down. Okay, hold it. You might feel like you're hunching your back just a little bit. That's fine. Now breathe into the back of your rib cage and breathe out. Feel your rib cage coming down. Let's just do 2 more. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Take that belly button in. Let's bring that core engagement to a 7. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it and breathe out. Go deeper in the core engagement. Belly button in, pelvic floor in. Let's take it to an 8. Hold it. Breathe in. And let's take it to 10. You're at your maximum. Your shoulders tensing up. Your shoulders are probably tensing up now. Hold it there. Bring your shoulders up. And bring your shoulders down and wide. In Pilates, we always work out with the shoulders down and wide. So you hear me say bring your shoulders down. When I say bring your shoulders down, I'm talking about your scapulars right there. Those 2 flat bones in your back. You want to imagine them always coming down. Imagine you have weights just at the top of your scapulars right there. Weights there, and holding it down and wide, because you never want to exercise like this. If not, you're going to leave the class with a lot of tension inside of you, and we don't want tension. We always want to be relaxed, we always want to be aligned, and we always want to be centered. So you always want to move from your center. All our movements come from the core, so you want to make sure, if your core is weak, then all your other muscles, all the other muscle groups are going to be overworking to compensate for a weak core, and that's how you end up having back pain. You can have knee pain, you can even have neck pain. And so what we want to do is to strengthen that core so that your body can function in alignment as it's designed to function. Joseph Pilates used to say that you're only as old as your spine. So if you're able to keep your spine as healthy as you can, you're going to be healthy. And I believe that, I actually agree with that the spine, because if you think about it, that's where all the nerves flow from, and then they send signals to all the organs of your body. So all the electrical impulses of your body is going through the spine. So the spine is very important, and in Pilates we're going to be realigning it and realigning your body. So join me in the next class. We're going to be putting all of this together in every class that it is that we do. We are going to be engaging our core. We're going to be engaging our pelvic floor, keeping our rib cage down, keeping our shoulders down. These are very, very important parts of our Pilates class. Another thing that you're going to hear me talk about often in class, we do a lot of little beats. And we also do a lot of pauses. So little beats and pauses are very similar. And what we're doing there is we're going deeper into the core, and we're also pushing through a stretch. So an example of little beats or pauses. So you take a breath in and exhale. So core goes in, pelvic floor goes in. So now when we're doing little beats, so it could be that you're trying to, let's say we reach our arms to the wall, and a little beat here would, so you're already at your maximum stretching away from you. Okay, let's do beating backwards. Yeah, so that's the exercise. We've been beating backwards. Arms are reaching away for the wall behind you. Join me on this. So you take a breath in, and when I say little beats, you're beating, beating, beating. So your breath through your mouth, going deeper and deeper into that core engagement. And then you get to the maximum, hold it, and then you release. So for little beats, they're not big movements. They're always small movements because you're already at your maximum. Okay? So small beats, little movements, little pauses like that, and bring it down. And the breath is very important. Going deeper in that core engagement and keeping it engaged. So thank you for joining me in ground level, and I shall see you as we layer up.